Do, così. Singolo. Okay. Let's play our new partimentino, number 1 of the Faubourg. So we are in D, in F major. Let's play this from the beginning to the end. Okay, we are in F major. One very important thing. This is a stage another thing we'll practice later. But when we have 2/4, is the tied bass, very similar to the 3/6, 2/6, 2/3 or 2/6. What does it mean? Because as you can see, you have a 2/6 here. It means that you have something very similar to that movement, but the voices, the notes can be in the two different voices. For example, you need 2 and 4, and so the dissonance is in the bass. So P, preparation, suspension, where you have the dissonances, the second and the fourth, and the resolution is here, which means that you need a 2 and 4. Doesn't matter if you put if you put the 2 and the 4 this way, or B and G in the other position. I mean, these 2/4 or 4/2 both work. The most important thing is that you imagine it as a tied bass. And this 6 alone, when you can find the 6 alone, always implies a third. So if you have to add another voice, you can double the bass. So you can do the 6 and the bass, another E, or you can double the 6th, 6, 6, or you add the third. These are your possibilities, okay? In the repertoire, you can even find just a third, but the implication is a 6th. So the player which plays basso continuo will play a 6th chord, even if the melody of the flute or the violin simply plays a third. Okay, so this is about this. Then 4, 6, 3, 5 is a kind of double appoggiatura, because the 6 is an appoggiatura to the 5 and the 4 the same to the 3. Does not necessarily mean to be prepared, okay? Does not necessarily have to be prepared. So you can even do it as an appoggiatura. Now, this pattern is repeated another time here, the entire phrase actually. So F major, then in D minor, and then in B flat major, as you can see. And the last time, quite similar, do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, but only like this phrase in F major up to the end with the final cadence. Okay, so now you have all the tools to do your realization, and let's compare our works together. Okay, here I play my realization. Do, mi, fa. I can even do like this. Do, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol, fa, mi, fa, do, sol, fa. Okay, this is a very simple realization without so many difficult things. At the beginning, we start with I prefer to start with 8/8, Mi, Fa, 2/4, Sol, Fa, Mi with a passing tone, 3/6, 3/6, 3/6, 4/6. Here is where we have the forward tone. As you can see, 3/6, 3/6. Sol, Fa, Mi. You can even add other diminutions. This is up to you. Or here, even a connection. Then the same repetition in D minor. So it's a sequence descending thirds. Even some diminutions you can add. And at the end, this cadence with 3/6, 3/5, so they are all consonancy, so we can leap without any problem. And this is a counterpoint cadence because of the suspension 4/3, but we'll better talk about counterpoint cadences in another level. Very nice, so let's continue our journey together, and if you want to practice with me with other diminutions, more complex realizations, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions. Gabriele Coserpio, ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Suona? Ok, sì, suona. New partimentino, number 2. We are in D major. Let's play. Okay, quite easy in the bass. Let's see where we have the forward down. Here, the forward down is on the downbeat of each beat. So in 6/8 we have, in terms of tactus, 3 beats down and 3 beats up. So the forward down, as you can see, the structural notes of the forward down happens to be here, 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 here. Continuing this way up to the 5th degree, where we have 3/8. Then pay attention to these numbers, and after this cadence in the bass, we have another section where we need the forward down, because it's another forward down with all 6/6 descending, 6/6, 6/6, 6/6, and we finish with 7/7. What does it mean in this case? We will talk later about this kind of cadence, I have to put it here because we already have 3-part cadences in these exercises. So 7/7 means that you have to prepare one voice one note in one voice with a 7, for example, this way, 6, 7. Now, if you are preparing this preparation, suspension, and resolution, you have 6. Let's use colors: 6, 7, and 3. D, S, R. Then what happens is that the other voice does the same, but a bit later. So, for example, A, G, this is 3 and 3, the third becomes this seventh, G and G. So, and the resolution will be here. So we have preparation, suspension, and resolution. So these two sevenths belong to two different voices. That's very important. Okay, now start to add a new point of view to your way to analyze and see harmony. So the numbers can be easily shifted between the two voices in some points. When they are explicitly written, so it's better if you follow the order. So you have 8 and 3. You start with 8 and 3 this way, and then 3 and 6. You start with 3 and 6. Even though in some cases you may decide to do the opposite. Here maybe it's not the best solution because in the fa bordone you get parallel fifth otherwise instead of parallel fourth as you learned in the lesson. Now, what's the other point? This long note means hold the third, that note which is the third on the note where you can see the number. So you have a third over G, over E, which is a G, and you hold this G. In other words, put this value. The other voice, so the voice singing the sixth, does the contrary. So it continues, but with different 6. 6, 6, and 6. This is the meaning of this kind of writing. So you do your realization, and in the descending scale, even if here you lack of a semitone, an eighth note, in order to have your continuous eighth note melody, do something in the melody. Apply or passing tone, a diminution, or appoggiatura, one of the unprepared dissonances, or even a lip to another consonant note. Remember that 6 means 6-3, in order to have a continuous 8-note melody. So do your realization, pause the video, and let's continue together reading my realization. Okay, let's play this. Tac. So as you can see, I can do this because I have constant emotion. 6, 8, sol, fa, mi. This is very interesting because 9, 7, 8 this is a suspension which clearly works as a 7-6. We have this note which is 9, 8, so preparation, suspension, and the resolution is on the 8, but in the middle we pass through the 7 as an appoggiatura, or in other words, turning around the resolution. This way. After this, as I said, you can add another note here to keep the flow of 8 notes. Here I used even a more dotted rhythm to continue the flow. Then this at the end, 3-6, 3-6, which is a gallant cadence, but we'll better talk about cadences when we'll arrive to cadences. There's another point. Ascending pentachord, exactly. You can even conceive this passage as an ascending pentachord, but this is in chapter 5. Or Prinner, very interesting thing, because in our fa bordone we have La, Sol, Fa, Mi. From this passage, actually the Mi is here. Fa, Mi, Fa, to create the cadence. If you pay attention, you can clearly hear the Prinner. La, la, Sol, Fa, Fa, Mi. It's embodied in a cadence, so it makes sense. Okay, let's listen to the entire realization. if I want to do something more interesting, since I use this dotted rhythm, as you can see, I can even add a dotted rhythm in the cadence, this way. Let's play from the forward on. This way, sol, fa, mi, fa, just to give a more spicy and coherent taste. Okay, let's continue our journey together. If you want to do more interesting realization with other figurations, with other patterns or other exercises, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions to work exactly specifically on your specific needs. New partimentino, number 3, here it is, we are in F minor, and as you can see, since we have two voices, you have to pay attention because one voice starts with the rest, while the other one starts with a note, the third. So let's play the bass from the beginning, very slowly. A, sol, la, okay, very nice. This is very short, only 2 lines. In general, they are 3, but sometimes 2 or 4. Now, what is the forward on? The forward on is here, 36, 36, 36, and 36. Then, as you can see, we have a pattern, which is a little scale with a dot. Where you can clearly see the use of the forward on in each section. When you have this pom, pam, 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 you may use a starting rhythm, something like that. The third, this way. Then you have the rest. You put the octave, followed by the sixth. So this is the principle. And here with the sixth, you need the third. So you need a dot here. This is the principle to how to read these numbers. And then you continue by yourself. After this, we have just 9-8. Remember, 9-8 means preparation, suspension, resolution. The suspension, resolution, and the preparation is the 9. So if the 9 here or here, in case it's a G, the G here is the third. So the third is the preparation. 9-8 works exactly with 7-6, with the difference that if we can put 7-6 in a sequence, because parallel 6 are allowed, we cannot do the same thing with 9-8, 9-8, because otherwise you have parallel octaves. And parallel octaves are not allowed. Okay? If you do parallel octaves, the police will arrive to your home. You go to the jail. Okay. Then the same thing here, but descending. As you can see, you'll apply the forward on even in this section. Here, 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 and then a final cadence. Hold these notes at 3-5 and resolution. Okay, do your realization and then let's compare our works. Tac. Okay, now I'll play my realization. In the previous example, I showed you this. In the previous, so in the blank version, to start this position. Actually, we are quite high to continue, because if you continue this way, what happens is that you're already so very high, so you have to come back down, which, I mean, it's possible, but if you start an octave down directly from the beginning, as I did here, it's better. Then, in the descending version, nothing to say, you have understood how to make the forebodon work. If you like, you can even add, why not, a passing tone here. Even chromatic. Where chromatic is possible, like here, because we have a tone, so we can use the semitone. Okay, here D flat C, it's already a semitone, and A flat G, it's already a semitone, so it's not possible. But here you can do even this. And even later, so if you want a melody to have a continuous 8, you can even do this with the upper ribbon tone, maybe even with the fa super la. Let's see how it sounds. Very nice. Then maybe the last time you can even do something different. It works. It's another thing, it's another version, but it works. Now, what's the reason why I put this lip? Because if I continued without the lip, this note, it's here, and then what happens is that I'm crossing the voices, and I do not like to have G, because this is a 4/6. So here, thanks to this lip, I can move to another position. Okay, when harmony does not change, you can hold the same note, but I mean you can even invert the two voices. So A becomes from the middle to the top, and F from the top voice to the middle voice. This way. Okay, very nice. Let's continue our journey together, and if you want to practice with some aid exercises on your current situation, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions. New partimentino, we are in E minor. This seems very complex because we have a lot of 16th note, but it's just a trempe l'oeil, so it's not true. Discover, it's quite easy. Let's play from the beginning. Seems complex because it's faster, but actually the most important notes are only one we have, the notes we have on the downbeat. Dun, dun. So the 3/6, the forebodon happens to be here. And this is nothing more, as you can see, than an ascending scale where we have Mi, Fa, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. So instead of a scale following so in the same octave, the notes are spread between the two octaves. This way, with connections which are as this case. Then in the second part, so here follow the forward on, even just a rest on the down note with a rest can be perfect okay. Then it's up to you to find maybe other solution, other interesting thing. After the beginning, so after the first part, we have another section with the descending scale. Here our structural notes are, let's use another color, E, C, C, A, F, F, E. So it's a forward on where we do not have all the degrees of the scale, but just the relationship of thirds. Even here, do something very simple. You can play a lot with the rhythm. And then now you can do a lot of things. So do your version, do your realization, and let's compare our works right now. Here. So my version here is, let's play it very slowly to focus on each downbeat. This way, very easy once you understand the principle. Then you can play with the rhythm, do more complex realization. For example, it was my student from Texas who did a very interesting realization combining arpeggios, ascending and descending arpeggios, and very interesting rhythms. If you want to do these things, you can always book your one-to-one training session with me to do these exercises together, exploring new way of combining elements. Voglio fare il C, dove cavolo è il C? Re, C minor, obviously. Ok. Partimentino number 1 on the Monte 5/6. So we are in E flat major, and besides the written bass, we have an indication here, which is something to follow during your realization. So first of all, let's start playing the bass as written. Okay, very easy partimento because we start with an ascending scale and then we have a descending scale, but we'll focus on the Monte 5/6 here. So let's analyze what happens in this point. We have one melody in the top singing 3, 5, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. So this is what you have to follow in your realization. And in terms of structure, it's clear that you have 5, 6, this 5 becomes 6 here, while the other voice has a third, then this is merely a diminution, okay, to keep the flow of 8 notes, and 3, all third because, you know, parallel third scale, and then this is a diminution. So this is the pattern to follow in your realization. We are in B flat major, but you can even use the Fa super La to make a little cadence to A flat major, the 4th degree, as you have already learned. The Fa super La is on the 7th degree of a major mode, so E flat major, D flat. Okay, up to this point. At the beginning, follow this number. Let's see how can you manage it by yourself. Then 4-3. 4-3 means preparation, suspension, resolution. Then you have only one note, so it's a second here. So the 4th can be prepared only by the 5th, which is diminished 5th. So this is a, instead of a direct resolution, the A flat you'll put if here or here will resolve not in this point but here. So the PSR happens to be preparation, suspension, and resolution on the 3rd here a little later, as you can see. Then 6, 5, 6. It's like a 5-6 descending. 5, 6. As you can see, 5 diminished 5 here, A flat. 6, 3, 5, 5, 6, 3. Then 5, 6, 3, 5. Here you have a little fugue. Here you have a 2-4, which means a tight bass which is unprepared. So just put a 2-4. Don't worry about that because you have the Fa super La here, and so you have the augmented 4th. So you can even do this with an unprepared section. So you do not have to prepare it if you have the augmented 4th. Okay? Then 6, 3, 6. So a little fugue. And at the end, this cadence follow the numbers. Consider one more thing, that you have one voice which is 6, 5, 4, which is very important, resolving to the 3rd, and 8, Fa. And the other voice is written. So it's up to you to use these numbers in a very smart way. Okay, do your realization and let's compare our works. Number 1, I play it. Okay, so let's do this zoom in. 3, 6, 0, I start with the rest. As you can see, contra motion, this 7th is a passing tone. Fa, mi, re, mi, fa. And after this opening, with the counterpoint cadence because of the suspensions. We study counterpoint cadences. We have the sequence here. I haven't used the fa superlap, it's a choice. And from this point, sol fa fa, sol fa fa, 3 6, 3 5 5, 3 6 3 5 3 6 3 5 3 6. For Bourdon. So what is important in this section? In this section, what is important is the gain in counter emotion. So, for example, fa, mi, the representation of the same passage. Mi, fa, mi, fa, mi, fa. So in the top voice, in the middle voice, and this exchange. Okay. La, la, sol, la, sol, fa. If you have this position of the voices, you can even choose to do not put the third and to finish with the unison, as you can see. This depends how you arrive, because you can even have the top voice and octave down. You know that some patterns have the possibility to be played inverted. G, for example, F, G, F, G. Let's see if it works. It works, so it's just a choice. Okay, very nice. Let's continue our journey together. And if you want to practice with other advanced diminutions or to work on some specific exercises, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions with me. New partimentino on the Monte 5/6. Let's play the bass. Okay, we are in G major, as you can see, and the first line is just repetition of the pattern we have at the beginning, where the very interesting thing is that the presence and the meaning of this 4/6 is just because of the nibberton in the bass. So it's okay to be a 4/6 because it's a nibberton, and it's okay to be a dissonance, even in the harmony. So you start analyzing that you have the parallel third scale in the middle, and the other voice sings the 5/6, which is here. 5/6, 5/6, 5/6, and then it's up to you to find the solution. Etc. What's very interesting is the end, because you'll finish with the 6th. Okay, if you finish with the 6th, which is this one, you can even have another 6 in this point. If you can use, according to the tied bass pattern, 4/2 at the place of the 6th, it would be better in order to have something more interesting in terms of harmony. 4/2 resolving to the 6th. Then little for Bourdon, as you can see, 2/4, little for Bourdon, 6/6, and then up to the final cadence with 6. When you do not have anything, remember it's 3/5, you can choose the positions you prefer at the end. Very nice. Now, do your realization and let's compare our works. So I show you my realization here. Let's play it. So the first line is merely a repetition of the pattern. So here, personally, I prefer to have another harmony, 2-4, resolving to the 3-6, even with the addition of something else. For example, we can add other diminutions in the second line to keep the flow of 16th, of 8th notes, as we have in the top, in the first line. How to do this? I show you, for example, you can leap to the other note with the top voice before moving to this G, and you can decide to put a rest in the middle and a note here. This is a very interesting thing. Then you can do the same thing in the top voice, and then again here. This way we can keep the same pattern but adding our continuous note, continuous melody. Remember that even rests are important to do this, even rests. Fa, re, sol, re, mi. Here, dot and repetition. Re, fa, sol, re, mi, la, fa. For example, mi, la, fa, re, fa, re, fa, re, sol, fa, mi, fa, re, sol, fa, mi, passing tone. Then here I can do another passing tone here and another passing tone here. And another passing tone here. Or to keep the use of the rests, you can do this way. Put a rest here, and then the note here. As you can see, there are many possibilities. This is the art of crafting, music. Okay. Very nice. Now let's play it this way. Another thing. Very nice. Let's continue our journey together, and if you want to work or develop your realization with more interesting diminutions, adding other techniques, you can always book your one-to-one training session with me. Okay, partimentino number 3 in C minor. Let's play the bass. Okay, let's analyze the context. We have this bass, which is very fast in terms even of notes, but the structural notes are very slow. Why? In the beginning, of course, it's a descending tetrachord. We better study what is a descending tetrachord, but you can see La, Sol, Fa, Mi, okay, with a little 7/6 here. So you can start in a position which is good from to connect here. So try different position. Maybe this one is not the best because I arrive with B in the middle. So if I invert the two voices and I put the parallel third scale in the top, 7, 6, 8 is better because I can arrive to this B very easily. So start with this setting. All the other notes are nibble tones, so you do not have to harmonize the nibble tones, okay? They are just dissonances. Then, here we have our Monte 5/6. Let's identify the structural notes. Of course, we have C, D, E, it's a scale, F, G, and the cadence to resolution. Even this is the same note, just with an arpeggio to keep the rhythm. And so, what's the meaning of these notes? Here we have a nibble tone. So this nibble tone does not have specific harmonic wave. So you have to continue following the 5/6, where you can see here 5 and 6. So 5, 6, 5, 6. If I'm using A natural, you'll even use B natural, which is the 6th with the sharp, with the natural to be precise. Okay, according to the melodic scale. At the end, cadence, and after this we have another sequence here. You should be able to recognize the sequence because we have already talked about this. Fa, Sol, La, Fa, Sol, Mi, Sol, La. 3 down, 2 up. Follow the numbers, which are 3/5 or 3/8. I mean, when you have just so this note refers to the third. When you have this or nothing, the harmonies you can use in general, remember they are 8, 5, 3 in the position order you prefer. Okay. And then 6, which can mean 6 or 3/6, and follow the pattern. Even in terms of the melodic solution. Up to this point. Then, as you can see, we have 6 and 3. So it's even better if you start in another position because this third have a meaning. Here you have to hold the 6 here and 3, 3, 3. Or better. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. And you can see, and so start instead of this way. If you start this way, have more sense with 3 and 5. Here. Then final cadence. We better study this aspect, but remember that when you have a 5-6 in a counterpoint cadence, you have to prepare the fifth. Why? Because 5-6 means that between the two upper voices you have a second or a seventh. In this case, with 5 and 6 written this way vertically, you have the 6th and the 5, you have a 7th. So the 7th has a preparation, a suspension, and a resolution. So we have the preparation here, the suspension here, and the resolution here. 6, 7, 6, 8, as you can see, between the two upper voices. 6, 7, 6, 8. Preparation, suspension, resolution. Even in the inverted version, mi, fa, mi, re, is the same. So you have to prepare the fifth. The fifth is ce sol fa ut. This note. In fact, it's in the same voice, as you can see. Okay, do your realization and let's compare our works. So, your realization and mine. Let's play my version here. Okay, as you can see, I'm starting this position. Now, as you can see, this way, if you put the resolution and at the same time the top melody in parallel thirds, you create this parallel fifth. I left this parallel fifth because they can be acceptable in a way that the top voice has a diminution and you want to continue with parallel thirds, and the middle voice has a suspension to resolve. When you want to do parallel fifth, it's okay. The most important thing is that you do them consciously, with a reason. In this case, we have a melody moving in parallel thirds and another one. I want both, and so I do them. Okay, then let's continue. As you can see, if I move down and up in this last phase, I cannot do down and up. Or better, I can do it, but I should use another system. Which consists in the melodic scale, because you have to reach B natural. Otherwise, I write from the top. Another solution. Both work. Contrary motion. As you can see, I can leap from B to G, even creating this dissonance, the seventh, because here in the bass we have a passing tone, so it's okay to be a dissonant, and these are two notes belonging to the harmony on G, the main chord, okay, you can say. Here I'm using the rest to give a melody, a direction to the top voice. Then this, and you can say I made parallel octaves. Exactly. Sometimes happen even to me to do parallel octaves. If the parallel octaves at the beginning have a meaning, the parallel fifth at the beginning have a meaning, these parallel octaves does not have any meaning. I mean, they're very brutal ways. So, how to fix this parallel octave is very, very easy. The problem happens between this phase and this phase. So, it's just enough to put a passing tone, and we do not have any more parallel octaves because they are, as you can see, 3, 7, dissonance, which is a passing tone, that's okay, and then 6, and then 8, totally okay. And for this reason, moving the middle voice in parallel sixth is a good solution. And as you can see, 6, 7, 6. 6, 7, 6, preparation, suspension, and resolution. Very nice. Okay. So let's play this from the beginning. This partimenti is complete. Let's continue our journey together, and if you want to work on some specific things, your exercises, your compositions, or applying other diminutions and patterns, you can always book your one-to-one training session with me. Partimentino number 4. Let's now play this partimentino. We are in B minor. Let's play the bass. Okay, what do we have? At the beginning, just an opening pattern, so only one harmony here, pam, pam, pam. Sometimes simple things make the difference. You can even use rests, sometimes are very effective. And then we have the Monte 5/6 in this position, from this point to the top. Follow the number, so here instead of 5, you may say, okay, we have 6 and 6. That's true, because we have the neighbor tone in the bass. So thanks to the neighbor tone, this 5 becomes then a 6, as you can see. Follow this up to the top. And after this, we have another very interesting situation, because you can consider this note as the main notes of this section before the final cadence, and as you can see, we even change the harmony on the last beat, this way. Pay only attention to one thing, because here I wrote 5/8, but of course it's 5/3 because we need the third. 5/3. So 3/5. Then 3/5. No, it becomes 5/3. 5/3 with augmented fifth, as you can see, A sharp. And this is a cadence. Cadence number 1, followed by cadence number 2, and the final cadence, which is down. So with this rhetorical meaning, okay? Do your realization, and then let's compare our works. So here it is. I'll play from the beginning. Here is our pattern. So if from here, okay, 5/3, 3/5. 3, 3, 5, 5, 3, 3, 5, 5, 3. In this case, that should be a fa super la, but we need G sharp in order to move coherently with the sharp we put here, because it's like if we are exchanging the notes between the bass and the top. So that's why even if we have a fa super la, we put a B. In fact, it's a fa super la with an asterisk. Cadence, cadence, imperfect cadences, so with the third in the top. And the last one very conclusive. Mi fa, mi re. This way, okay. Now listen how it sounds from the beginning. Here it is. Let's continue our journey together, and if you want to practice with other diminutions, other figurations, other exercises, other partimenti, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions with me.
Gli esseri umani sono più stupidi dei ratti, non sto scherzando, questi esperimenti ci devono mostrare. I ratti e gli umani vennero messi davanti a due poltrone.
근데
7/6 forward on, Partimentino number 1 in C major. Let's play. So the bass line goes. So as you can see, at the beginning we have an opening pattern 8-3-8-5-3. So here it's up to you to find a way to connect the melody and with the bass. So find interesting combinations. And our pattern starts here 7-6-7-6-7-6-7-6-7-6-7-6. So you have to apply this pattern using the given rule instruction. So which means that this note, which is an A, must be prepared from what point? 3rd and 6th here. This is the A. So this C in the bass belongs to the previous phrase. 3 and 7. So the voice singing 7/6 is in the top, and in the middle we have a voice singing the parallel third scale. As you can see, even in diminution we have consonances, because 3, the blue voice, 6, 8, 6, 6, 6, 3, 3, and thanks to this diminution, we come back to our thirds. So follow these given numbers. This is quite repetitive because I want you to focus on this pattern and this melodic resolution. Sol, mi, fa. Attention to the last one, because you have 3 with a diminished fifth. This is followed by another pattern called Monte. We studied in the Galan schemata, where we have 5, 6, 5, 6, which is chromatic. So very similar to the Monte 5, 6, but the bass is chromatic. Mi, fa, mi, fa, mi, fa, and all the notes in the middle are just diminutions. Mi, fa, mi, fa, as you can see. And now we have a new section descending this way, where the 7/6 forward on is faster, because from 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. So the last number goes on the very last subdivision. So here, 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 here. So all the process happens between the last note and the first note of a 4-note group. And then the final cadence. This way. Okay, do your realization on the keyboard and written, and then let's compare our works. Okay, I play my realization, so let's go. Contrary motion. Perfect. And then our pattern, so Mi, 7 C, 7 C, 7 C, 7 C. Here I change this position. 3 6, 8 5, 8 3. When you have 5, you can even think to 8 3, because we can do 3 6 and 3 5. That's good. But if you want the melody singing sol fa mi, you have to have 8 3. Otherwise, you have to send the other note A to D. Sol fa mi to have 5 3. Sol, do, this way. This way. Okay, very nice. Now let's play this from the beginning. Okay, very nice. Then, if you want to practice with your exercises, adding your diminutions, do other more complex things, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions with me. Partimentino number 2 on this pattern, so the 7/6 for Bordeaux. Let's play the bass. We are in A major. We are in 6/8, so 3 down, 3 up. Okay, very nice. Now, this is Partimentino, where we have a section in A major, and then we modulate to E major. Now, this is important because we start with a pattern where, remember, you have a 5/6. We better talk about the 5/6 in the last stage of this chapter, in 3.7. But remember, you have to prepare the fifth exactly as a 7/6. Why? Because between the 6th and the 7th there is a second, and so if you start this way, this is a dissonance which must be prepared and then resolved this way. This way. Now, we start our 7/6 chain from this point. 7/6, 7/6, 7/6, and then we have modulation thanks to the 6th. Well, thanks to the sharp here with the 6th. Remember to use parallel thirds. And as you can see, this section, the opening phrase, fa, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, sol, do, here is represented in E major. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, sol, do. So even here, prepare your fifth. Then you have another descending 7/6 for Bourdon in E major. And pay attention to this point because it's quite tricky. I know, do your best, even writing in different possibilities, because from this passage, from this 7/6, here 3, 5. So 3, 7, 5 with a third. This is useful because with this passage where you have the sharp on the 6th, because G sharp is in the key, and the D natural on the 3rd because we are not adding another sharp, we come back to A major. This is the passage where we come back to A major, and this is the prolongation of the resolution of this passage. And from this point, this note, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, fa, sol, do, we have the beginning pattern just starting on the beat number 2 instead of beat number 1. This way. Okay, so do your realization and then let's compare our works. Okay, I'll play it. Maybe zoom in, with a zoom in at least this way. Perfect. Here, take the time to leap. They are two separated phrases. 7/6 for Bourdon. As you can see, in order to keep the flow of 8 notes, here I use the triplet to create an imitation with the bass line. This way. Parallel thirds. And this way, let's represent the opening pattern in E major. And now, here, let's, as you can see now, in the second time, I'm using the 7/6 for Bourdon. Here I start with the 3rd and the 6th. To create variety, doing more interesting thing, I do the opposite with the sixth and the third in the top, as you can see. Why? Because this pattern can have the two upper voices inverted, and this creates more variety in all the development of the exercise or the composition. And as you can see, now the imitation is here between the middle voice and the bass, in fact. And this note, pam pam, and here, it's very important because is the preparation, PSR. The resolution actually arrives here. And even here, P, it's very important that before the next note, which is the suspension, we put the preparation. Even on the very last, but it's important. And resolution. So, let's continue. D natural. This passage, which is very tricky. At the very end, mi, re, mi, do, finishing with 8-8 to be more conclusive. Okay, let's play this from the beginning again. Okay, very nice. Let's continue our journey together. The next exercise, and if you want to practice with some personalized exercises, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions with me. Parate. 7/6 for Bourdon, new partimentino. Now we are in the minor mode, in G minor. Let's play the bass line. Okay, so at the beginning, in the first bar and half, follow the given number, and remember that when you have nothing written, you have 3/5. So here, to correctly connect to this point, try different possibilities. My suggestion is to start this way with a 3/6, 3/5, 5/3 in this position. This way you can arrive with the middle voice to B and G, and then you can start your sequence, because now the sequence 7/6 starts from this point. 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, where our structural notes are G, F, F, E, E, D, La, Sol, Sol, Fa, Fa, Mi, where you will use this pattern, as you can see. 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 3, 5, 6, parallel thirds, 5, 3, 5, 6. So between the 7th and the 6th, because we have the 7th here and the 6th here, we put this figuration. Then, here you do not have anything on the downbeat, or better, you have a rest. What does it mean? You have many possibilities. You can imagine to have a D, because you have a D here and a D here. Generally, the best rule, so the most logical rule consists in considering this D because of the following D. But since you have this, you can even imagine to have a cadence with a G, which is in the middle voice. So to resolve this cadence to G, okay, so you won't play anything, of course, and then you continue according to the numbers. So 5, of course, you are on the dominant, on the 5th degree, so you play the 3rd with a sharp. And from this point, you start your ascending Monte 5/6, as you remember. Here, Monte 5/6. Find a way to use to have a continuous flow of 8 notes, even repetitions. Even the repetitions this way, but they are very helpful and useful to keep the flow. And the end, counterpoint cadence that will better study this. Deceptive, and the final cadence here, Fa, Sol, La, Fa, Sol, La, Okay, pay very attention to these 3 and 3. It's not a case, because if you have 3, 5, 3, and you do this, you create parallel octaves. Otherwise, but we studied this in another chapter, if you do contrary motion, 3/3 is the best solution to avoid parallel octaves, because you do 3 and 3. Okay. And the last passage this way. Do your realization and let's compare our works. So I'll play my version. Here I used an abruptio, which means that you do not finish the phrase. Sol. instead of la, sol, la. You can even conclude it and continue without any problems. Otherwise, you can do this way. Our sequence. Mi, fa, sol, la, sol, la, 9, 6. As you can see, I'm moving in parallel thirds while the middle voice moves 9, 6. So while in the middle voice we have 6, 9, 6, the two external voices can move in parallel thirds. This can be done. Cadence, counterpoint cadence. And the sequence starts from this point. So this note is the resolution of the previous phrase, and then mi, fa, sol, sol, la. This way. And the final cadence this way, okay? Now, let's continue our journey together, and if you want to practice with me on some exercises, on some specific things, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions. Partimenti number 4, let's play. We are in C sharp minor, so this seems challenging because we have a lot of notes in the bass, but they are just simple diminutions. So let's play it. Okay, how to realize this? Because it's very fast. Now, at the beginning, you have to find an opening pattern, which can be something, I mean, very similar in the concept to what we did in number 1. Okay, pay just attention to parallel octaves and something like that, because this can be very common to do it. Since we are in a very high position here, even in the connection, pay attention to start in, so not so low, but here. For example, this way, so you can start and have your 3 in the top, so G. Of course, 3, 6. But if you are in this position, you are in a very good way to connect to your to the next phrase, where we have our suspension 7/6. Now, as you can see, from this point up to this point, we have the 7/6 overtone. So for each bar, we have one structural note, C sharp, La, Sol, Sol, Fa, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, La, Re, finishing with another thing, but our sequence finishes here. What do we have then? Here we have the 5th degree, G sharp, with 7, 6, 4, 6, 3, and then 8. Here we have a double cadence. We'll better study the double cadence even if in only 3 phases, but we have all the elements of a double cadence. If at the place of this we put 4, 3, we have a double cadence, okay? After the double cadence, so now I don't want you to get confused, so let's write just this with the 5. We have another very interesting thing, which is the quiescenza. So the quiescenza is like one of the Ghana schemata we'll practice in another level, but the quiescenza is very important to apply at the end of a composition. And since we have a very long repetition, you can have the quiescenza here. How to apply it? Follow the numbers for the moment. These 4 numbers are written exactly in the same position you have. You need to have the quiescenza. So 3, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6, 4, 7, 3, 8. Okay, do your realization and then let's compare our works. Now, this is my realization, so let's play it. Here I started in a lower position and then I recover the space this way with just a rhythmic technique. Why? Because I consider this the end of the previous phrase and the next melodical phrase starts here. Remember that phrasing is very important. So and the next phrase starts here. So Fa super La, then Fa, La, Sol, La, this way. La, Sol, Fa, Sol, D sharp actually is more coherent to anticipate the cadence. So here we keep the same harmony. 4, 6, 3, 5, 3, 8. Because we engage the quiescenza. And if you like, you can finish with the major chord, okay? This way. Now, from the beginning, I played without stopping. Listen how the 76 for Bordone is within the entire partimenti. In natural. Okay, and this was my realization. You can even do more complex things. This is a realization accessible to all. Now, let's continue our journey together. If you want to explore different possibilities, even more complex with different diminutions, more melodies, you can always book your one-to-one training sessions with me to work on these things and even your personal exercises, compositions, and projects.